Alright, so I made this short a few weeks ago, and basically I was talking about one of the hardest things being a data analyst is how fast deadlines can come up sometimes. And I got a comment on that short asking me, do you end up telling them that it can't be done that fast? Oftentimes this isn't really an option. However, I always try to tell them I need more time than I think I do, because there's always going to be unforeseen circumstances, there's going to be other projects that call, there's going to be more urgent things that I have to do like the day of. So I just try to give myself an extra week or two whenever I can. And that's not to say I slack off so I can have extra time to work on it. However, you're going to want to give them that timeline, and it's definitely better to over-deliver as far as the timeline goes than to under-deliver. So for example, if I say I can get a project done in a week and I give it to them in 2 weeks, they're not going to be nearly as happy as if I say take about 3 weeks and I get it to them in 2 weeks. Oftentimes with these one-off projects, there's going to be something that comes up. There's going to be data that you have to track down that you haven't used before. There's going to be access issues at your company. You might not have access to the specific location where you need to pull data from. You might need to talk with a subject matter expert in the data that knows more about it than what you do. And oftentimes for stuff like that, if you don't have a good understanding of the data, it's not a good idea to put together an analysis and say, okay, here's what you need to do to your stakeholders if you don't really understand the data. Now, on the flip side too, you can also tell them straight up at the beginning that you don't have a lot of knowledge in that area and it might take you a little bit of extra time. Now, the commenter who made this post originally also said, this is what I'm worried about. If stakeholders are just shoving tasks down my throat and you telling them no, or it won't be done by the end of the week, because sometimes it can't, it will just lead to me getting fired. Now, if that's the case, you should not be working at that company anyways. At least where I work, everybody is very understanding when it comes to this. They know analysis takes time, and they might not be the most technical people. They might not understand all the work that goes into an analysis, especially when you can put it into a nice pretty format and have a nice write-up for them as well. Where this can become a problem is if you're just not meeting expectations. There's other people getting similar projects done in a lot quicker time, and sure, they might be more senior, but those are the type of people you want to ask for a little bit of assistance here and there. You don't want to keep consistently telling people, oh yeah, I'll get that done by the end of the week, and then not meeting deadlines. Now sure, sometimes things come up, sometimes you're not going to be able to finish things. This has happened to me, and it's not really been a big deal. Sure, there's been people that have been maybe slightly disappointed, but you just have to explain to those people, here's why I can't get you that analysis by this time. Either I have an access issue, I'm waiting on access, I've contacted the team that can give me access, and they just haven't done it yet. I don't have access to the data, so I can't help you. Now the important thing here, before I finish this video, is that you need to understand how long things are going to take. If you don't have access to certain data, or if you're not familiar with certain data, bake that into your time estimates. If you know you have a lot of other things going on, bring that up as people are asking you to do stuff. Say, I have this priority first, and then I will get to it. This is something you need to regularly talk with your managers and other coworkers about. If you have like daily stand-ups or weekly stand-ups or one-on-ones with your manager, just go over all of the things that you're working on, because even in my case, sometimes my manager isn't aware of all the things I'm working on, and they think maybe I have a little bit of leeway that I can work on another project, when in fact I don't, because they just didn't know I was working on something. So this is where it really pays to have good communication skills, understand all of the things on your plate at the same time, and hopefully you can figure out with your manager what the highest priority is. And if it's a good manager, like my manager, they will help you prioritize, and they will also help push back on stakeholders or other people who are asking you to do stuff and say, look, he doesn't have a lot of leeway right now, he can't work on this, he can get it to you in 2 or 3 weeks. So lean on your managers, lean on the people around you. Also, lean on your own knowledge and understanding of your own skill to determine how long something's going to take. But hey, if you liked this video and you think this was helpful, I think you would really like this one. Have a good morning.